Welcome back to Lipany for an extra spicy casted game. On the north side in the purple we have Liquid Demu as the Ottomans, and on the south side in the pink we have Boy 3920 in the pink as Zushi's Legacy. So as you can see, we've got a friend of the channel Boy and we've got a big name Demu that are going against this at the top of the Conqueror level. Both of these guys extremely high level, so I'm looking forward to seeing how they play this matchup. Let's take a little look at the scouting path on my absolute favorite map. I know a lot of people hate Lipany because of the really janky spawns and the cliffs and all that stuff, but I kind of love it. It's the one map where you really have to scout more than any other because you literally have no idea what's going to go on. So I find that really interesting, and I always find the variation in the map makes you play a little bit differently. Whereas, you know, if you're on Golden Pit, you know the gold's in the pit. It's fairly standard. So we can see Demu now going for a very aggressive scouting path, so straight across, and he's going to try and secure this whole sort of north and east side there. And then if we flick over to Boy's perspective, we can see that he's been a little more reserved, making sure that he gets back to behind his base to get this sheep there. So another one by his gold and one by the berries. So maybe let's check, have we missed one in the corner? Let's see. No, lucky for Boy there isn't one over there either. So let's take a little look at the matchup. We can also see from Demu's side, he is the Ottomans, but there's no Dark Age military school. And I think with the changes to the military school and the vizier points, it kind of makes sense that you don't get as much value from it now. And by the time a spear gets over, you know, Zushi can just make some chuganu and then ruin your day. So it looks like he's going for a quick feudal age up with lots on the sheep and obviously the 2 on gold, with a couple of little straggler sheep there waiting to be collected by Demu's diligent scout that's now heading over with a huge collection of sheep, 10 there. So that's going to work out very nicely for him. Boy is also going up with the standard Zushi kind of stuff, so a slightly slower age up now. So I wonder whether he's delaying that on purpose to maybe do some fast castle stuff. We'll have to wait and see. But I normally expect Zushi to age up fairly quickly. We can see that Demu's gone for the Sultan Hani Trade Network. There we go. Try and say that 10 times fast. So this one is not the landmark I was expecting. You know, the food from the other landmark, the madrasa, I think is really, really good. But on this map, actually, there's a chance he could do some trade because you've got a nice corner trade post there, a couple of cheeky little walls, and he might actually be able to secure that. So we'll have to see whether he's just going to go for the traders in there for the passive gold or whether he's actually going to be trying to do some full-on trade. We can see Meditation Gardens, and that is a juicy one. Look at that. So we've got double berries there, we've got wood, and we've got gold. That's a 10 out of 10 meditation gardens if ever I've seen it. If that stone was just here and he could have got the stone as well, maybe that would have been a 10.5, but I think I'd be pretty happy with that if I were Boy. Now, looking at the spawns then, because Lipany is very spawn dependent, so we can see here that Demu's boar is really quite far out, but it's secured, actually it's with all of these wood lines. So if we flick around, we can see it's nestled in there. There's a little cliff, so that could actually be fairly wallable. He's also got backberries here, another sort of backside berries, and double backberries in gold here. So all of the main resources he wants are all at the back of his base, and one little short wall here would protect that quite well. So Demu has definitely won the Lipany lottery so far. If we take a look at Boy's side, this cliff on this right hand side is actually going to work really well for him. He's got the deer pack down there and the boar on the side. So again, and a couple of little walls just straight across there, and both players actually can play a little bit more defensively if they like. But knowing Boy, knowing his particular style, I don't think defensive is the way he's going to go. Now we can see 5 on gold, and oh, there we go, Demu stopping the meditation. So having 1 unit there, that's going to be reducing that income by 10%. So when that's updated, we'll be able to see, but it's still a pretty decent income overall. And we can see though, with the 5 on gold and this many on food, I think we all know what's going to be happening. It's going to be that super fast Zushi fast castle that we also know from previous videos that Boy loves to do. So now how is Demu going to fight this? He's got military school there. He's also mining more of the stone, so he's going double military school, and I imagine we'll be seeing a blacksmith drop down for that production speed buff any second now. But Demu has seen the fast castle, and we can see 6 of those villagers all over to gold to try and get that going. Blacksmith down, really liking that position, so we've got room for loads more production around there, but it's cancelled. Where did it go? I didn't delete that. There we go. Okay, it's back down again. There we go. So here we go. So the meditation gardens is being delayed, but 70 food, 12 wood and 22 gold. That's pretty juicy if ever I've seen it. Now, still no production from Boy yet, but the first Sipahi that's coming out isn't here yet, so it's not going to be able to deny that age up when he does, because he can click up now, and he's gone for the Shaolin Monastery, which I think is the obvious choice when you're doing this, because you can get the baldy guys to fight the baldy guy. So the Demu's fighting the Demu, and that means that they'll be able to defend themselves relatively well. They'll be able to pick up some relics. He's even got a super safe relic right here that he could nab super quickly as well, so I wonder how many of those he's going to be able to get. If we take a look at Demu's side, he's also very heavy on the food. He's going to be hoovering up that sheep very quickly, and he's also got the mill there for his upgrades, but he's going to be able to get onto those berries, so he's going to be okay for food, but he's trying to get to castle very quickly because the only production is coming from these military schools. Sipahi, I think, the right choice in this case because they have the mobility, so he might be able to try and deny some relics, but 622 age up, that's pretty juicy. Even HRE players would be pretty unhappy seeing that ping up because they can't quite get that speed. We do have a Shaolin monk in queue, and it's actually going to be going for the central relics, and this is something you will always see these higher level players doing it, these Conqueror 3s. They will always go for the contested relics first, so as I mentioned, maybe I might have been tempted to go for this, but it's always better to get these ones. If you're being super greedy and aggressive, you could try and get his relic, but you want to go for the ones in the middle first and then get your own. You never really want to go straight to your back ones because they're basically secure anyway. So these Sipahi that are coming out, if he delays it, the Shaolin monk, which is currently sprinting over there at high speed, would get denied, but these guys are taking forever to come out. So how long do they take to produce now? Let's see. So we've got 5-6 seconds, and then we'll be able to see what the full production is, but this feels really slow compared to the last time I saw the Ottomans. So that's one out. 2 minutes. Oof, that feels painful. And even with the blacksmith buff there, that's, yeah, I wouldn't be pretty happy with that speed. But we can see that we've got a lancer coming over as well that's going to be able to put a stop to those Sipahi, and the monk is carrying that relic back on his back, living his best life, going for a nice little stroll through the forest. And we can see there's 3 monks, so if we flick around we can see there's another one running out to get one of these. I think he's going to be going for the aggressive relic, and then we've got another one getting this left hand side, so Boy getting the lion's share of those already. Demu almost enough food to start looking at his castle age, but these Sipahi are not going to be dealing very well against this lancer. This one guy tanking all of that damage, as the Mahmed Imperial Armory has been dropped down for Demu. So now he's going to be trying to get to the castle age as quickly as he possibly can to get out those units to start putting a stop to these lancers, because at the moment, apart from switching heavily into spears, he doesn't have a huge answer for it. So let's take a little look. There we go. So caught under the TC there, that lancer is going to be going down. Oh, that's one down, but they hit so hard. He's still going to be able to get a few villager kills there. One more going across and a couple left back. Is he going to get it? Just about. There we go. One more down and off he goes again. So the Lancers have so much armor and at this stage that they can basically run under the TC. Oh no, and fighting those villagers under there. Oh dear. I don't think Demu's realized they're just standing there, and that's another villager down. So 2 at this stage. So in this case, it's not a huge difference, but you think that's a 10% difference in villagers. It will make a huge difference at this level. Let's take a little look at the income per minute. Demu definitely a lot lower because he's using 13 villagers to age up, which is a third of his economy at this stage, and he keeps getting hit on that gold while he's doing it. So a couple more villagers going to get hit. Oh, that's really nice from Boy there. So he pulled those lancers forward to catch them as they were running away so he could get the extra hit. So there we go. So the Imperial Armory coming in, and the obvious mangonel going in. I'm really excited to see in Season 9 what the siege changes with this, and I think the Ottomans being able to produce everything is going to make them really strong, along with the other vizier points and stuff that they can do now. Let's take a little look. We've got some more lancers that are appearing at the front of the base. Boy going for his classic comp, Lancer, 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 and then a couple more lancers. So Demu is doing his best to defend. He's dropping down a mosque to try and get some of these relics, and you can see him there sending his first imam out. So he clearly used the vizier point to get an imam, which I think is definitely the right call to try and deny at least one of these. So there is the one on the right hand side that Boy hasn't got yet, so we can see his monks running around and getting the sacred sites to force Demu out of position, because now that is going to be ticking on, he can't just sit in his base and mass up to defend against the Zushi units that are going to be flooding his way. The income looking really strong for Boy at the moment with that gold and food, and he's spending it all on those very expensive lancers. If we check out his base, he's already got 3 relics in the Shaolin monastery, 239 a minute. That's a lot, plus the taxes as well, and then he's also pumping these guys out. So all three sacred sites now ticking, and we can see Demo is shifting out over here with his Sipahi trying to get that other relic. So this definitely could have been denied. I think at this stage Boy could have potentially tried to squeeze all 5 relics, but getting 3 is still pretty decent at this stage. But with the timing and the fact he had lancers on the field, he definitely could have got this one as well, I think. But yeah, I don't think he's particularly bothered at this stage with the mass that he's building in the center and with those Shaolin monks there. With their ability, the Body of Iron, they're going to be able to use that and be really safe from any ranged attacks, so they're going to be quite happy. But I think we see the counter, Janissaries. So these guys are going to really pack a punch against the Lancers. How they deal in terms of the numbers, I think 5 against 11 Lancers still seems pretty bad to me. And it looks like we're going to see a Zushi Lancer dive bomb into the wood line, trying to idle that economy. Mangonel just popping out, but it's not going to do a huge amount of damage against these guys. Going straight for the Janissaries in the back. And yeah, they do a lot of damage. That's a really massive hit on those Lancers, but there just isn't enough. And the Shaolin monks going to punch. Oh wow, that Mangonel, they really took that out, and they are just running around. TC focusing on the Lancers that have got all that ranged armor, so that's even better for Boy. And now the monks are coming in to slap those villagers. Get off here. They are chasing them round, using these monks defensively or aggressively. Where's that? Where's the Wololol? Oh, there. Did he get any? No, he didn't get any units there. I was trying to figure out who was doing it, but unfortunately that Imam, the last-ditch Wololol there, not quite paying off for him, and that military school very exposed on the front side. Lancers just diving around the base now, and this is really bad for Demu. 11 villagers down, and he's going to have to really pull something out of the bag. Shaolin Monk is pulling them off the berries. Villagers lining up in formation, ready to get slapped by those sticks as they run back under the TC. TC fully garrisoned, so they're not going to be able to have anywhere to go, and are going to try and run around the base. There we go, running through all the buildings, getting chased by the Lancers, and with that movement speed, these guys are going to quickly make light work of all of these villagers. So that's another 10 that are looking like they might be biting the dust, and a Lancer there just scooting around trying to catch them. Demu doing a really good job of keeping these guys alive. If this were me, they'd already be gone at this stage of the game, but this is looking really bad for Demu. All these villagers, while the Zushi economy is just pumping in the background. We can see here he's literally just running these Lancers around on a merry chase, hoping the TC can damage them enough and he can get some Janissaries out to tackle them, but he calls it. That run around the base and those Shaolin monks getting them was the final nail in Demu's coffin. Here we are then, just before GG was called, and before we get into this, make sure you stick around to the end of the video for my recommendation of the next video you have to check out. But let's zoom out, bring up the interface, give it a cheeky pause, and we can check out how both of these players did. So obviously this is super top level games, and even these slight mistakes from one player or the other can make such a huge difference. As you can see just from the economy at the top, you can see that all of this villager damage, okay, 12 villagers, it's not a little mistake. but the small differences in age up time and doing all of that stuff really makes such a huge difference when you can capitalize on, for example, getting your castle age units out and doing a lot of damage. Let's take a little look at Boy's base, because we spent a lot of time in Demu's as that's where the action was happening. So he got 3 relics, which was really good early on. I would definitely say because of his age up time and Demu's, and the fact he didn't get his imams out for ages, he could have even just parked a lancer on the 2, because there was one here and then the other one was over here as well, somewhere. I will find the caravan in a second. There we go. So I would definitely say rather than getting the sacred sites immediately, I would have gone and got those other 2 relics. And even if you got a lancer with them, you probably could have got that one first and then the others, because really getting all 5 relics, it just denies them from your opponent, and with all of your lancers there, this gold is the only one he really had available to him, and you were pushing him off that, so it literally meant no gold units whatsoever, because even if we have a look at the archery range, if he wants Janissaries, he needs a lot of gold. He did have the passive gold from the Sultahani trade network, so he left the 3 in there for the passive, no actual trade, which with those lancers running around I think was definitely the right call. If we take a little look, we can see as well that Boy had a decent amount of production, so he'd got two stables producing both from each. I think any more of his income and then he would definitely need another one, but we can see there's some supervision going on, getting all those taxes and all of that good stuff. So you'll see at this level, look, only 4 in there, 44 in there, which isn't too bad for that type of building, and you can see the other buildings have quite a bit as well, but Boy's collecting it. In some of the games I've seen at lower levels, there's maybe 300 or 400 taxes in each one, so the micro to make sure you get all of your imperial officials out and get them collecting is really, really important. So like there, that's an extra 200 gold that Boy's sitting on ready to be used. If we take a little look at these guys, they are supervising the stables. It looks like double stables to make sure he can get all of those units out, which I think is the right call. Meditation garden still up and strong, and Boy about to go out and hoover up those berries as well. So he's living his best life, also out on the deer. It looks like he's just finished moving all of that away, and he's going to be hoovering up all the food, so he's living his best life. Demu, on the other hand, not having such a great day. His villagers were getting absolutely slapped around by these lancers, and I think that's the difficulty with him getting to castle age that little bit slower, and these guys having such strong armor that they can just dive the TC. So the Janissaries were the right call, he just didn't get enough of those numbers out. So he maybe could have tried to get a load of spears as well, but with the amount of these guys he had and with the Shaolin monks, I think he was in a real difficult spot at that stage. But a pretty strong defense considering the damage that was coming in. Only 12 villagers at this stage I think is really decent, and we can all appreciate how difficult of a position Demu was in there, but all because Boy took advantage of his tech advantage, which is exactly what he should be doing. So here we go, let's follow these as they lead them on a merry chase around the base. Now if you like this game and you want to see some more casted action, check out the game in the cards so you can keep watching and enjoying even more Age of Empires fun. So enjoy your adventures on the ladder, and I'll see you next time for more chaos.